What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Heel Hookers podcast, episode 142. And finally, all of us are back here together again to talk about the fights that had happened this weekend. Ginger, no commitment to do the preview, but for some reason had the commitment to stay up all throughout the night to watch it live and then go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely bugging.
Just
Respect.
a little bit.
Respect. Hey, that
Just a little bit.
I mean, I thought it was crazy enough of just me staying up to like watch it and everything, and you're just like, yeah, no, I have work like when the featured bout starts.
Yeah, I'm the smartest of the bunch. I got off of work yesterday. I passed out. I was like, nope, it's bedtime. Woke up and I was like, all right, I could do this. I could stay up.
Yeah.
But we had
There's some...
okay.
No, I was gonna say, if you look at me and Jimmy, you can tell why we were the ones who were like, "Nah, I'll just stay up."
Dumb.
I was gonna say men, but yeah, same thing.
Difference.
Determined.
Strong-willed.
We are back, all here together again to talk about the fights that happened. We had fights from Macau, China, UFC Fight Night, Petr Yan versus Deiveson Figueiredo, and going into it, there was a lot of fights on the card where it's like, you know, you have newer people coming in, you had the 3 tournament fights on the prelims, you know, there was definitely this was not a card the UFC put together to convince American fans to stay up and watch this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
But I knew with the main event at the top of the bill, it was going to make it all worth it, because there was no way in my mind that we were going to get a bad fight or a boring fight between Petr Yan and Deiveson Figueiredo, both former champs. And we got a pretty damn good fight indeed. Goes all 5 rounds. I'm sure most people assumed that it was going to go 5 rounds. That was definitely the most likely outcome.
Yes.
Petr Yan gets the unanimous decision win, wins all 5 rounds over Figgy, gets the complete shutout on all the judges' scorecards. Initial thoughts on the fights, the results, and just what this means, especially for Petr Yan getting it done, trying to come back up into the title picture.
In terms of the title picture, it sucks that Merab is the champion for him, because if it was still Sean O'Malley, for instance, yeah, he lost that fight too, but it was a much closer fight.
Yes.
As to where with Merab, that being his last loss, it was a complete domination. Like, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about the fact that Merab dominated that fight and straight up beat Petr Yan. You know what I mean? And I know because of that, he truly wants that fight back. But it's like, I just feel like because it's so soon of a rematch and because of how much of a non-fight it was for him, you can't give it to him over Umar. You know what I mean?
Not at all, yeah.
No,
So that's definitely my thoughts on the title picture for him. And as to the fight, I guess I'm just not too surprised. You know what I mean? At first I was like, I'm not really sure what's going to happen. But then, yeah, like just thinking about how they both fight, who Petr is, I was like, you know, it's going to be a Petr fight. I didn't think that the first 2 rounds, like, he was going to be able to get them so easily. I thought that Figgy would have more for him.
Yeah.
So for it to be like a 50-45, I was like, damn, he really, you know, got to it. But other than that, I expected him to win the decision.
No, yeah. In terms of the title picture, yeah, it does suck that Merab and Umar definitely deserves that title shot next. So, and in terms of title picture at the moment, it's a bit murky because I don't know what they're trying to do with Sean O'Malley. I don't know what they're trying to do with all these moving parts. Personally, I would not mind seeing Petr Yan versus Sean O'Malley too. That would be an amazing fight. Make it 5 fucking rounds.
Yes.
Because that
It's where
changes
Petr
the whole
shines.
complexion. Exactly, that changes the whole complexion of the fight. Because I don't know if they're going to go to O'Malley, Sandhagen. If they don't go to that, I wouldn't mind Sandhagen Figgy.
Yeah.
That would be a fun fight as well.
Yeah, because me and Jimmy were talking about it when it came to Sean O'Malley, that it's like, whether they book him against Corey or Petr Yan, like, I'm fine with either of those fights. But I do like the idea of the rematch with Petr and then Figgy versus Corey.
Yeah.
No, yeah, same. And then, yeah, in terms of the fight, kind of like very much Petr fight. Like, started off a bit slower in the first round and then really started ramping up second, third, fourth, fifth.
Oh yeah.
And he just started flowing. He was in a flow state. Like, he was starting to get creative, throwing a lot of uppercuts that were just landing on Figgy.
Yeah, because
Beautiful performance.
Figgy had like the good start of being able to get Petr down like pretty immediately, and then like he was just searching for a sub. He's on the back, he's looking for the arm. Like you could tell that he was trying for something, couldn't do anything. Petr reversed it, and from there it was all him. Figgy had his moments, but yeah, like you said, those uppercuts were finding its home every single time. Right side, left side didn't matter. Just switching stance every time Figgy switched stance. It was just a beautiful performance.
Yeah, because like you said, with him getting the takedown, because I forget the exact kind of takedown that Figgy got in the third round that he scored over Petr, but no control time or anything with that. But the first round,
it was a double leg.
Okay, yeah. But going out there just right away, the first round, got the clinch, and then just that inside trip on Petr. It was so beautiful. I don't think Petr was expecting that at all.
Not
just
at all.
Super swift with it. It was very nice to see. But then got 2 minutes of control time. Petr was able to reverse it and then started landing some shots on top, getting the ground and pound going. So it was
I mean, even when he Figgy had the control, when he was on his back, I know that they're not the most effective shots, but he was landing big elbows to his thigh where Figgy wasn't even in a sub attempt, just kind of trying to work to see what he could figure out. So even in those positions, technically Jan was still doing more.
Yeah, because
even then, I was thinking of the elbows he was landing just like this, against his head when he was behind him.
Yeah, just the constant shots throughout all of the grappling exchanges, because it's significant strikes was 6-1 in round 1, but 42 total strikes landed for Petr. So just constantly touching him in there, and like you said, just definitely surprised that Petr was able to do enough to win round 1, but and it was just as soon as he won round 1 and it played out like that, it was just oh, okay, it's just if you let him get going like this, it's obviously Figgy has that one punch power, landing some real big shots on Petr throughout the fight. One thing that I really did love that Figgy was doing was the consistency to the body work.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Petr Yan is such a tough, smart fighter. He pressures forward and he uses the cardio and builds over time. You start ripping the body early, it's gonna make him more hesitant to come in. It's gonna start deteriorating the gas tank over time. It was just very smart. Extremely tough and durable as well. So if you're gonna get him out of there, it's more
that's
than
definitely the way.
Yeah, it was definitely a really smart game plan and just overall fight from Figgy, but it just didn't have enough tools, didn't have the cardio, and just overall at 135 to get it done over a former champ like Petr.
Because what I was gonna say is that it's he was doing good with the body shots, but it felt like every time that he landed one, Petr returned, and with that, I think it took a toll more on Figgy than it did on Petr. You definitely saw him more labored breathing towards the back half of the fight, just slowing down more.
Yeah, the stats not scoring any knockdowns or anything officially, but the third round, that uppercut Petr landed on Figgy, sat him on his ass, was just beating him up throughout that, and because I really thought that he might have got him out of there in the third round, and then just with the third round ending, it's okay, round 4, Figgy's probably out of there, you know what I mean? But that minute gave him all of the energy and the recoverability he needed to just hang out through the rest of the fight. He was looking good, because at the end of the third round, it was looking like Figgy was getting tired, but was still able to hold in there and just have a good scrap throughout the last 10 minutes.
Yep.
No, that former champ, man, hard to get him out of there.
Oh yeah.
That's why I just wasn't sure that Petr would be able to do it, because it's I know Figgy technically has the one TKO loss, but that was a doctor stoppage because of the swollen eye. He's never actually been knocked out, and I just wasn't sure if Petr was going to be able to get it done. Figgy is tough as hell.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely a great fight. Didn't get fight of the night. They ended up giving 4 performance bonuses throughout the card. We'll get to all of those later. But it easily could have gotten fight of the night for sure. Definitely the best fight on the card.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we were saying at just the beginning with the title picture, it's just hard because Merab seems very dead set. He seems very dead set on fighting in March.
Yeah.
That just seemed since he's won and the title and has been talking about defending, March has been the date that he's been talking about, which obviously is the one date of the fucking year that does not line up with Umar Nurmagomedov.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where
That's
it's
true.
it's just come on, bro. You know what I mean? it just feels like, everyone talking about Jones ducking like Aspinall and everything like that. It just seems like Merab's doing the same kind of shit, but no one's really calling him out for it because he's been more of a fan favorite coming into like the title shot and everything. You know what I mean? But it's just like, I don't know. Umar is obviously the guy, but with Merab being so dead set on that, I don't know if they're going to go to a rematch with Sean O'Malley right away.
Yeah.
I feel like that's easily possible. Just, Petr calling out Merab and then Merab just being like, oh, like, just accepting it. Yeah, like, who knows? Like, Sean or Petr could easily find themselves slipping into a title fight in March in completely undeserved reason, kind of like the beginning of this year in March when Cheeto got his title shot undeservedly.
The cycle continues.
But yeah, that's just the one thing that does kind of suck about it, because then it's like, what, now we're gonna fucking whoever like Merab fights in March, however that fight plays out, now we're waiting until maybe like October or something when they decide to do like Umar versus the winner, you know what I mean? Like, it just sucks.
Yeah.
But I definitely do think that the best way to go is the Sean O'Malley rematch. I feel like that's just the most logical fight at this point. Just fuck what Merab wants. Umar's the guy. You either get that fight done for February or you get it done for April. And then you just have Petr versus Sean. Winner gets the title shot.
Yep.
I like that. Yeah.
And then I do very much like your call of Davison versus Corey Sandhagen. With Figgy being 36 years old, obviously looking for the title shot at 135 pounds, loses this fight against Petr. It's like seemingly unlikely that he'll probably end up getting that opportunity at 135.
Yeah.
One of those things, though, you never know. A good win and just timelines, you could always find your way in there. But Corey's definitely a good name of if he wants to continue working towards that to get back on it.
The only other name that I really would like at the moment, Kersey, just because of their how they both used to be flyweight champions, both moving up to 135. Henry Cejudo.
I'm
only because of the storyline. If they can't get the Corey fight to happen for whatever reason, if they're already in negotiations to get like him versus Sean or something,
Yeah, I just know that Davison went to like train with Henry for a bit during like the Brandon fight, so I don't know if like they would fight each other. Because I know that was like a whole thing of like the storyline with that of like, oh, Brandon trained with Henry and then went to go train with Joe Benavidez. It was just so like, yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that they would do that. But that would definitely just be a really fun fight too. Like you said, storyline is great for that. Let's go. Great fight at 135 pounds. Great performance for Petr Yan. And going into the co-main event at 115 pounds, what an incredible performance for Yan Xiaonan.
Yes.
This was coming into it, like saying that it was an incredible, like such a big step up in competition for Tabitha Ricci. The way that she's performing at the level of competition she's been fighting, it just undeserved and seeming like she wasn't going to have much of a chance in this one.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things where from the UFC end, it's like you're either going to have Tabitha show up and show out and now she's a new contender at the top of the division, or you have Yan Xiaonan, Chinese fighter coming off of a title fight loss, and just to get a dominant win in her home country and have the crowd like just love her, go crazy for her, and that was exactly what happened with Yan Xiaonan getting a unanimous decision win.
Yeah. This fight went kind of exactly as I thought it would. Tabitha Ricci in the first round, like, she couldn't find a shot for anything.
No.
She was doing her normal, real bouncy, just like moving around a whole lot. But every single time she went in to land a shot, Yan would just throw something big. She would swing at the air and back the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of times that Yan, like, put a little combo on her and she backed up and she just called her back to the center, like, nah, come here. Come here, because she didn't have anything for her. All she could do was circle out and get away from her because that's all she had. She went 0 for 13 on strikes in the first round.
Yeah.
Like,
Not only that, 0 for 1 on take, literally threw an literally batted for an 0.000 average.
Yeah.
Yes, like it was a really bad first round for her. Yan was just doing her thing. Second round, Yan was just picking it up more. You know, Tabitha knew that she had to try a bit more and like really get in there, so she landed a couple shots. But again, total strikes, she went 10 out of 33, and then in round 3, she went 7 out of 60. It's like she could not find her range. She did not want to engage with her. She did not want to be in her space, and she was just getting touched up the entire time for it.
Yeah, it's like you said, just, you know, with Tabitha picking up the third round, it's like, because especially in the third round, she knew at that point that she has to go and do something, and it's like she was clearly trying, you know what I mean? But it's like you said, every time she got in that range, Yan Xiaonan was just, because like you said, of her just, you know, like calling her back to the center, like there was one point where like it just had me like, you know, it's fucking like 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm just laughing to myself because it's like, like you said, Tabitha, all these feints and movement, and she's just circling around Yan, and Yan is just standing in the center, no back and forth movement, and just circling and like turning in the same spot, because it's like, I don't have to follow you, I don't have to move towards you, come to me, and you're getting bombed with this right hand. Yeah, it was just, Yan Xiaonan was levels above Tabitha in the striking, had like, and
then even with the grappling, it's like Tabitha, I went 1 for 3, but even with the one that she got, she had a total of 16 seconds control time. Like, Yan was out of there real quick, you know?
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like Tabitha, like she's like a well-rounded fighter, you know what I mean? So she's gonna be one of those people where like, whatever game plan, like, you know, she's trying to go to with, whether it's like the striking or the grappling, I feel like she's gonna really need the threat of the other to really help it thrive. And with no ability to do anything with the striking, it's like, yeah, of course you're not gonna get any grappling going, you know? It's
this was just a terrible fight on the UFC's part to make. Like, we say it all the time that they need to stop pushing these people. Like, yes, sometimes it works out, but other times you just have people get shut the fuck down. And not that, like, a loss is the worst thing that can happen. You can learn a lot from it, come back, but it's just like, why kill the progress of what they're going when instead you can just kind of match them up lower? Instead of going from 10 to number 2, give them number fucking 6, or you know, like wherever it falls on who other person, but you know, in that range, and give them the experience, give them the different views. Don't give them the person that just fought for the title. It's like, yeah, they got grapple fucked by Wei Li, but it's Wei Li. She's freak athlete, like, duh.
It's like you have those rare prospects who come through where, you know, like, okay, yeah, no, this jump is not gonna matter to them, like, you know, Umar, Diego Lopez, like, these are the exceptions to the rule, not the rule itself.
No, for sure. So the thing, like, especially after, cause, like, all of it played out, I feel like this was honestly pretty smart for the UFC, in my opinion, because obviously with it being in China, it's like, when Yan Xiaonan got the win, it's like the entire arena was loving it up for her, and like just had her in like she had the entire arena in the palm of her hands, calling for the title shot with Wei Li afterwards, the crowd going crazy.
Wei Li in the crowd right there.
Exactly, and like, you know, just just looking like, you know what I mean, just like ready for it. It's one of those things where it's like, obviously she got blown out in that fight, but 115, we don't have anyone other than Virna right now, which there's just no hype really anywhere for her. Like, I don't think that you could take Zhang to Brazil versus Virna, and like the crowd is gonna be like, you know, that it like loving Virna over
Hell
Zhang.
no,
You know
it's one of those things where it's like, there is an incredible amount of Brazilian fighters, so it's like there are the Brazilian, you know what I mean, like there are certain people that'll get it, but when it comes to Chinese fighters, like, you know, they kept bringing up the stat of 1 out of 18 Chinese fighters, and that included like the 7 people like on this card, you know, and like half of them either on their second fight or making their debut within the tournament. Like it was, they don't have a lot of Chinese competition. The 3 people they have at the top is Zhang is the champ, Yan Xiaonan, and Song Yadong. Those are like the 3 bigger names. So it's like, hell yeah, when they have a Chinese champion and then like the girl that is also Chinese that just lost to her, but she just won this fight in spectacular fashion, and they're in China, they're gonna go crazy. And it's good performances too. Like
no, exactly. So it's just one of those things where, like, with thinking about it too, it honestly makes me hate the decision to put them to put Zhang and Yan to fight each other on 300 even more, because when it got announced, it was just like, yeah, it's like a good fight for like a meaningful card, and it'll bring a lot of attention to Chinese like MMA and all of that. But that fight should have been in China.
Yeah.
With how the fans were fucking given the reception to Yan Xiaonan, bro, that fight had to be like, that was such a miss. It is so crazy how in the last like 5 years or so, the UFC has been so consistent on missing title fights, in like going to specific regional places with champions, challengers, whatever. Just the refusal to make the extra money in that specific fight, and then they like are always just like, oh yeah, we're just trying to grow the sport and grow this, and it's just like, no, if you really wanted to, you would make the proper decisions and put the fights in the right places when they deserve. Like, how the fuck did we have 3 African champions all at the same time and we had never had UFC Africa yet? You know what I mean?
No,
like,
yeah.
And now we're years removed from all of the champions being non-champ. You know what I mean? It's like, what? It's just crazy, man.
No, yeah. Speaking of that 300 Yao run on and Whaley fight, it's almost like I said that when they booked it for the card, and I was told, but you know, does it really matter? And now we're here saying the same things that I was saying back then. I do just find that kind of funny.
No, yeah, like because like I remember like having that thought, and then when they booked it for 300, it was just like, if they're not gonna do it in China, this is the biggest stage that they can bring it to. So it was like, I understood it from that aspect, but it's like I still always thought that it should have been in China. Like that was, but yeah.
No, yeah.
Either way, great performance for Yan. Just the top picture at 115 is just kind of all over the place. We just really do not have much going on. So if Yan doesn't get the title fight next, do you think they should go to like #1 contenders fight in Virna versus Yan, or just give Virna the title shot that she deserves and then just have Yan fight like Yasmin Lucindo or something like that?
I think they should just give Virna the title shot because, one, she deserves it, but two, Zhang Weili needs just people to fight.
Yeah.
She has been fighting like once a year because there's nobody there. They have nobody to match her against, and there's a lot of rematches there too. So it's like with Virna being #3 and she is a new fresh matchup, fucking do it. Do it. Just get it done, like if Tatiana can possibly like get herself together and be able to come back, maybe go to her then, But I don't know.
If the UFC and wants to go for it, then that's obviously the logical fight is Tatiana. But it's just it's hard to even try.
I meant for Yan Xiaonan with Tatiana because
Because
I was gonna say I still stand behind it. Like, I know that you were saying that they should have just put Tatiana in the title picture, but it's like she pulled out of this fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, then that would have just been a canceled title fight. Like, I feel like they need to see that she can make it to go 5 rounds and like come out of camp healthy, come out of that fight healthy, and be able to fight again before they're willing to throw her in her title shot. Because she either doesn't make it to the fight or she wins and then she gets injured right after and she can't defend it for how long? Now she's possibly stripped. Like, it just I know they definitely need to take their caution with her. So maybe try to get the Yan Xiaonan and Tatiana fight going.
Yeah, I don't mind
hope
that.
she can get healthy, whatever she has going on,
And like, speaking with like Whaley, it's entirely possible she gets the fight with Virna, wins that fight, and then calls for moving up to fight Valentina. Like, I could easily see that happening.
Yeah, that is just honestly the
and I think that is probably the next move.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Zhang Weili and the rest of the contenders at 115. Going on down to the featured bout, though. No longer talking about top 15 contenders, but my motherfucking guy, old man Muslim Salikov at 40 years old. As soon as the fight started and I started watching, I was just like, God damn it, I knew I should have just picked the finish. And just Salikov finds it 3 minutes 49 seconds into the first round, spinning wheel kick just right to the chin of Song Kinong. Just had his hands up, just started to lower his guard right on chin, falls down, just done. You know what I mean? First man to get 2 spinning wheel kick knockouts in the UFC. Pretty damn incredible.
Yeah.
At the age of 40.
Yeah. Bro has 6 in total in his career. That's insane.
Yeah, that is crazy. I definitely never realized that.
King of Kung Fu doing some Kung Fu shit on this card.
Yeah, just absolutely beautiful performance for him. Looked way better in there, you know, through the almost 4 minutes of time that we got compared to, like, especially the last fight with Ponzi, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Or his fight with Randy Brown.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that one is Randy's just tall, slick striker, so, you know, just getting it's understandable, but no, yeah, great performance from Muslim Salikov. One of those fights where it was, you know, like they're in China, got sunken out on the card, so that was the whole meaning and the storyline behind the fight, you know.
Yep.
Good for Salikov to get that win. He's just gonna be one of those guys that just hangs around like 20 to 25, you know, and just gets tough fights consistently, and he's just gonna win or lose some of them, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I mean, 8-4 in the UFC.
Yeah, very solid. This next fight, it was so funny because just obviously all the hype and all the buzz on fucking Colin Wang coming into this fight, you know, after her UFC debut, getting the first round knockout, and just as the fight's playing out, first round, you know, like just going, Colin looking good. It's like, okay, you know what I mean, like just nothing too crazy, but just solid. And just started to think about it of like, she comes into the UFC as like this very inexperienced former kickboxer, and well, like inexperienced in MMA, but like a former kickboxer, has a win in kickboxing over Valentina Shevchenko, who's the current MMA champion right now, and it's just like, a lot like Poatan coming in, you know what I mean? And then I started to think, it's like, he got a real nice knockout in his first UFC fight, and then he went to a decision with the Brazilian. And then he got a top contender and then fought for the title. I'm just like, is this how it's just going to go for Colin Wang? And as just talking about that and saying it, whatever, motherfucking Gabriela Fernandez hits her with a head kick. And it was just like, oh, you're hurt. This is not good. Follows it up with another shot, sits her down, and gets on top. Just grabbed that rear naked choke instantaneously, no hooks at first, anything, right under the chin, and just squeezed until she put Colin Wang unconscious, gets the second round technical rear naked choke.
Yep.
What a
Yeah. It was crazy.
Jesus. Yeah. I was literally on the drive to work when this was happening, and I just remember us all just going... Just like you talk, and then all of a sudden, like, her going down. We're like, oh shit.
Biggest upset on the card. Colin Wang was a minus 950 favorite. Like,
I know, and that's why it's just it's one of those things, man. Because you know, I think it was John Gooden on the call, right, for this one.
Yes.
Like just saying of like, you know, like, you can never, like, you know, sleep on opponents, and you know what I mean? And it's just one of those things where it's like, obviously there's a lot of times people come in, clearly they're talented, they clearly get fights that they're supposed to win, stylistically favorable match, you know what I mean? All these things.
Yeah.
But it's like, you're 6-0 in MMA, you have one fight in the UFC, and you're damn near a minus 1,000 favorite.
Yeah, I
like,
know, it's
crazy. It's fucking insane. Like, it's just going back to, you know, a fucking week ago with Paul Craig and fucking Bo Nickel, you know, with Bo being such a big favorite and all that. And it's like, he won the fight, you know, obviously, like, you know, so it's just like got validated, but it's like, with just how close that fight was and just, you know, how unimpressive he looked, it's just like, it's just crazy the odds on the fight sometimes, and just how confident people are in someone, just like, oh yeah, they're just gonna blow the doors off them, you know what I mean? And it's but just absolutely amazing for Fernandez to get the win, gets the performance bonus with that as well. Forgot to mention it, but Muslim Salikov also getting the performance bonus very deservedly. But yeah, it just one of those things where just had no, like, you know, just no one really caring, talking about Gabrielle Fernandez, you know what I mean? But it's like...
she was 1-2 in the UFC going into the fight, you know?
Yeah, you know, 2-2 in the UFC now on a 2-fight winning streak, 2 bonuses, like, in those 2 wins. It's just, like, that's definitely a very solid win of, like, okay, like, just could possibly get a little bit of momentum on her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
31
Yes.
years old, so it's like she still got time to just, all right, let's see what you're able to do. Like 2 losses in the UFC to Jasmine Jasdavicius and Teresa Bleda. You know what I mean? Like not bad losses at all. And then beat Carly Judice, which is, not the greatest win. You know what I mean? Carly very inexperienced, but yeah, very solid win for her. Moving on though. Next fight down the main card at 205 pounds. Volkan Oezdemir and Carlos Oberg. Going into it, I was very surprised that Carlos Oberg was like a 2.5 to 1 favorite over Volkan Oezdemir, because it's like on a good streak, doing good things, finishing his opponents, but you just haven't proven anything at the highest level.
Yep.
He proved a lot tonight with last night with
Yes.
today I should say this morning.
This morning
Gets the unanimous decision win. What were you guys most impressed with Carlos Oberg and his performance over Volkan Oezdemir?
I'll probably say it's like patience, because he wasn't like overextending himself a lot. Like there were a couple of times, but like a lot of fighters end up doing that when they think if they think they have their opponent hurt. And then also just like I'm just like shocked, like with the way Oezdemir fights. One, I'm surprised he didn't go to the grappling more often.
Yeah,
and then the one time then like the 2 times he like actually shot for takedowns
was the third.
Oberg was just he was just able to stuff him, because at that point, like I would be expecting it. At that point,
just
like
beaten and battered for Oezdemir at that point too.
Exactly. So.
Yeah, for me, it's not that I was like surprised, but it was just more so like questions answered, because it was like, how is Carlos Oberg gonna look going 3 rounds with someone that's at a higher level? Because he went to the decision one time in the UFC that I don't even know who that was against. Nobody really notable by any means, but otherwise he's really just been finishing people and getting them out of there rather quickly, other than the 1 3rd round finish. But like, he just answered a lot of questions that he can obviously go for at the very minimum 15 minutes.
Yep.
It wasn't like the highest pace, but it also wasn't slow paced by any means either. They were both putting out like a good output, a total of 183 strikes thrown from Volkan, 204 from Carlos. You know what I mean?
Honestly, that's a
really
good for over 15.
Yeah.
Like especially with the questions of it, and it's like one of those things, because it's like Volkan was pressuring him the entire time.
Yes.
So Oberg always on the back foot, so just way more energy having to use too.
Because it's like the first 2 rounds were pretty close. They landed about the same amount of shots. The biggest difference was just the power and the response from Carlos to Volkan, you know?
Yep.
So that I feel like that's really what swayed the judges in his favor, because in terms of strikes, 29 landed to 24 and then 28 to 29, like they were right there in numbers. But Carlos just definitely had the more impactful shots. But when it came to the 3rd round, you saw that it was Volkan that was tired. He was the one that slowed down more. He was the one
frustrated as hell too.
He was the one that was just more beaten up, more battered, and because I'm pretty sure it was Volkan. He was going for a lot of leg kicks too. 28 of 28, but it just seemed to not slow Oberg down at all. Like he did really good in there, and it was just nice to see him, because Alonzo Menafield ran himself into the fence and then he got knocked out in 12 seconds. Okay, that answered a lot. This was just a really good showing that like he can hang at the top. He has good skills, and I'm definitely excited to see him move forward.
For sure, because like you said, like it. 100% the factor was the damage and the effect of the shots that were being landed. And because, like I said, with Oberg being on the back foot and Oezdemir always pressuring, it's like he's walking into all of these shots, you know what I mean? And it's like, especially as the fight started to go on, he was getting much more frantic with it, much more rushed with the entries, just really trying to get something going. Because it's like, he had the moments of like, okay, Oberg circling around the cage, trying to like just laterally move, get the angles, and he would cut off the cage to stay in front of him. But as soon as he would start punching, that's when he just started moving straight forward into Oberg, and then he's still moving laterally, so now he's missing all of the shots, And it's just, with all of that building up just over time, the frustration, and then it's like, with just moving into all of the shots, like you said, with Alonzo running in, and just getting knocked out in like a stupid way. On it, Oezdemir was going like much more recklessly forward in a lot of spots than I thought he would, but just being a tough, proven guy at the top of the division, was able to hang in with all of it. Like we said in the preview, only been finished by Jiri, and then via strikes, and then ground and pound by DC. two former champs, DC, one of the greatest fighters of all time. You know what I mean? Like, there's no shame in that. So just showing the toughness and like durability to hang in there, and for Carlos to just throughout the entire 15 minutes stick to the game plan, keep the shots on him, and to just, you know what I mean, that it really did show a lot, and that was just an amazing performance for Oberg moving up into the top of the division.
For sure.
No, yeah.
Because then, even like talking about the cardio, it's like I don't think he slowed down enough in the third round to question his fourth and fifth, you know? Like, obviously, like, you know, once you get to the fifth round, that's like an extra 5 minutes on there, so like he'll probably slow down more. But I don't think he slowed down enough in this fight for me to be like, he can't hang for 5, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like it would depend on who is fighting. I get what you're saying, but if someone actually is able to like really grab him, grapple, and all that, there are like, questions with that.
Circumstances, but generally speaking,
but in terms of like, but in terms of the generality, more than likely has a fourth and fifth round, or at least able to fight through a fourth and fifth round.
Yeah, because grappling cardio way different, but
exactly.
205 that uses grappling offensively. You know what I mean? And then it's just like,
There's one who is in the top 6. Nikita Krylov.
Yeah, but does he count when this motherfucker don't fight? You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, it's... But there's basically no one that grapples offensively, and it's like, essentially. Like, the championship cardio is always, like, a different level, but it's like, with how he showed out this morning, it's like, I don't think that he's gonna be, like, fucking hands on his hips, fucking gasping like he had nothing in his,
like, I expect, obviously, like, a decline, like, a bit, maybe a bit slower, like, a bit heavier breathing, like, you know, slowing down a bit, but exactly, I don't expect him to be dead, like, I can't do shit now. Now I'm just losing the fourth and fifth rounds, like.
Yeah.
And
just also, like, just getting the experience, too, you know what I mean? Just, like, refining his game. It's like you said, throwing 204 strikes in a 15-minute contest as a 205-pounder at 34 years old. You know what I mean? It's like, that was a whole, like, there was definitely a whole lot of extra energy that he could have, like, used more efficiently, you know what I mean? Just, like, tightening things up in the future, where it's like, just building that experience, like, maybe getting 2 more fights or something until he's in, like, a 5-round fight, possibly having to, like, go that, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like he'll be more than prepared for all of that.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, it's like, this is the type of fight that shows you that you need to tighten and refine certain things anyway, you know? Because going back to his one other decision in the UFC, he only threw 117, which is obviously still, like, a good amount, but, like, he damn near doubled it, like.
Yeah, great performance. 7-fight win streak now for Carlos Oberg, longest in the division actively. And he said that he would like a fight with Khalil Roundtree next.
I like that.
I like that fight. I've just been looking at the rankings for a minute now, and I didn't realize the top 7 was essentially just the European division, because you have Krylov, Rakic, Blachowicz, Jiri, and Magomed.
Very nice.
I just noticed that, but I would love to see him fight Khalil Roundtree, because the other person in my head that I was thinking was the guy right above him, Rakic.
Yeah, that either one of those definitely be good. Him versus Roundtree is just that's just a banger. Yeah, man,
like,
that's
that is so good.
It's so amazing. But yeah, just great performance for Oberg. Definitely excited to see what he can do towards more of the top end of the division, getting into top 5 and stuff. See if he can actually find himself in a title shot. Last fight on the main card, though, Minyang Zhang taking on Ozzy Diaz. This was easily a fight that was set up, in my opinion, for Minyang Zhang to look amazing. And that's exactly what happened. First round knockout. Ozzy Diaz, he got finished by Joe Pyfer on the Contender Series, got 2 fights outside of, like, you know, in the regionals, and then got this opportunity. It just Minyang Zhang, 18-6, 18 first round finishes. Pretty sure that's pretty sure it was all first round finishes. It's just ridiculous, man. Like, 18 wins and you're finishing everyone in under 5 minutes for all of them. So you know that the game plan moving forward for every one of his opponents are going to be to try and hang in there through the first 5, because then more than likely you're getting it done afterwards. But yeah, just a fun fighter. He's on a crazy win streak overall, just a shit ton of fights. Yeah, an 11-fight win streak overall. So definitely just excited to see what he could potentially do.
Yeah, only 26 years old too.
The funny thing is, he's lost in the second round twice, lost one decision. He's mainly also lost in the first round. Majority of his losses are in the first round as well.
Very nice. But yeah,
So,
killer be killed fighter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. At 205, that's a hell of a stop to fucking have.
Yeah. Well, let's go. Definitely excited to see what he can do in the division, but it's always one of those things where you definitely got a few fights to move up in, you know what I mean? Get some like more notable wins before it's like, okay, like you can maybe take this style to like the upper part of the division, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Going into the prelims though, we had some championship fights or tournament finale fights for the road to UFC, you know.
One
same difference, but yeah.
little fact about all three of those fights.
Yep.
All of them had a pretty big size differential between the opponents, and all of the taller, longer fighters were not able to use their reach or anything
Not
as an
one.
advantage.
Yeah.
None of them. They all lost.
That definitely messed up a lot of my topology picking with
me
knowing
too.
these fighters or anything coming in, you know what I mean?
No.
I didn't get any of these right.
None of us got... Yeah, I didn't get any of them right either.
But I feel like the most notable one that has to be brought up first is Shiming.
Yes.
Girl. Holy fucking shit. I don't remember the last time I seen someone get brought out on a stretcher or in the UFC.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the size. 5'2 to 5'7", 60-inch reach to 66. Feng was just stupid fucking taller and bigger than her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, third round, 46 seconds in, that head kick she landed, and then just followed up with the ground and pound that was not needed because she was dead on the floor for minutes. Like, you saw Mingxi just sitting there, like, watching her, like, is she okay? Like, is she gonna wake up, you know? Come to find out, she is a doctor herself, and her parents don't even know that she fights. Yeah, it was vicious.
Yeah.
Vicious.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, when the knockout happens and she goes, celebrates, whatever, and then she's just, like, standing on the cage, you know what I mean? Just like, oh shit, like, you know, still down. And then they cut to break, whatever, and then they come back and she's still just standing there and the girl's just still on the ground, unconscious, and it's just like, oh fuck, man. Like,
fuck.
Yeah, like, it's been multiple minutes now and she is still unconscious on the floor. Always scary. You never want to see that because it just always worrying about a more serious injury or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just never want that at all. But then just got the stretcher in there. You know, by the time like they got her on there, like, you know, she was conscious and talking. But yeah, it just, that was absolutely vicious, man.
She also got a performance bonus, the fourth one of the night.
Yeah. 115 pounds, definitely got a little bit of a shot of life with her coming into the division because like you said, extremely small. So it's one of those things where now actually getting into the division of the contenders in the UFC, how can you actually translate your abilities, you know? But I'm definitely excited to see what she can do.
No, yeah. 100%.
Yeah. And then Dun Hyung Choi, he got a first round knockout. That was
too.
Yeah, man. Just like you said, just Kiro, just much taller, longer fighter, and was not able to use that effectively at all.
Yeah, because this one was 5'5" to 5'10", 66.5-inch reach to 73.
At 125.
Dude fights real small for a guy that's 5'10". Arms real close in, and he does not use his length or reach at all. He was the worst of them all.
Yeah, That took barely over just half the round, 2 minutes 36 seconds. Overhand right, put him down. He was done, man. That fight was over.
Choi came in, he threw an overhand right, lands it, hurts him, comes in with another like left hook, and then literally just another overhand right, just floors him.
Yeah. Good performances though. Other than that, on the prelims, what else you guys want to talk about? Bring up? What were you excited about? Find notable.
I mean, I was excited for the Nicholas Moda Mahashete fight. Was
Mhm.
definitely surprised that this shit went to a decision.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't think it was gonna make it out of the first round, let alone go all three.
Yep.
But yeah, Nicholas Moda just put it on him, man. Like Mahashete had some good points in the fight.
Mhm.
But he got knocked down twice. He was
Yup.
just getting beat up.
Yeah.
He was rocked and hurt all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the pocket boxing of Nicholas Moda was just so much faster and crisp that it,
Mhm.
it just too much for Mahashate.
Yeah. It was crazy because I was thinking Machete was gonna, allow Moto to try to come in on him to try and like counter a lot more, and that just wasn't happening as much as I thought he was going to.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely a great performance from Nicholas Moda though. But yeah, Ginger, any other fights on the prelims that you find notable and want to talk about before we head into some Tapology?
The Leonard Kavanaugh fight.
Yes.
I was seeing a lot of hype for this kid.
Yeah, super hype coming in.
Yeah. So was really interested to see how it went, and I see it a little bit, but like we were talking about earlier on in the morning when we were watching this fight, a little too patient.
Yeah.
He starts getting up into the, closer to the top 50 and stuff. That
we
is
know
going
they do
to
that real quickly with flyweights.
Yes. So he needs to adjust a little bit, be a little bit more aggressive, because if he isn't, it's going to become a real problem real soon. Especially against fighters like Joshua Van, who are still outside the top 15, fighters like that. And it could be a real problem real soon. We had a lot of flyweights on this card.
Yeah.
Dude, now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, there was. I definitely didn't realize that. But yeah, it definitely skilled, definitely is very technical, but yeah, it just that he did, and I mean, he is 25 years old, so he's definitely got plenty of time to grow and learn. But it's just, he's gonna struggle to some of these guys that are gonna put on ridiculous output, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like he threw 126 strikes, I believe it was. And that one landed, 126 total strikes, landed 51, so 40% clip. You know what I mean? Gets the unanimous decision, but yeah, it just needs a little bit more.
Yeah.
Let's go. That is the fight card from Macau, China. Tapology was absolutely horrendous.
Ass.
It was really bad.
I came in
garbage
out of the three of us. Out of the group, we were all bottom three. There were 13 fights on the card, and I got 6 right. Kate got 5 right, and Ginger got 4 right.
I got 3. I was at least very close with all mine. I had 3 decisions, 1 semi-perfect.
Yep. But you did have no perfects. I don't know what you went for Min Yang Zhang. I don't know why you didn't go first round knockout. That's probably.
Yeah, I don't know
second
why.
round?
I went second round. I didn't look at his record, so I didn't know it was all first round finishes.
No.
Once they said that, I'm like, oh, I'm fucked.
Yeah, I don't remember half of the stuff that I put. All I know is I woke up from my sleep and I was just laying there and I was like, I'm tired. I don't want to be up for this. And I'm just laying on the couch doing my picks. I don't know these fucking guys.
Yeah. Tapology.
Oh my god! I just realized my dad came out on top of the group.
Yes, he
your
did.
dad won.
Only person with 8 correct picks.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Bad good for him.
Group overall, honestly, not good. But yeah, let's go. Moving on though, we do got some fight news, and we got some good fight news. We got some great fight news. Holy shit! Let's get fucking into it. No time to wait. I had a feeling this fight was coming.
Yep.
Yep.
One that made sense.
Yeah, let's go. UFC 311, January 18th, I believe, is the date.
Yes.
Anaheim,
California.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
2 former champs at 205 pounds going at it. Jiri Prochazka taking on Jamahal Hill.
Both of them coming off of knockout losses by Alex Pereira.
Yup.
Mm-hmm.
obviously it's an incredible fight. It's going to be so much fun.
Yep.
Someone's probably getting knocked the fuck out. What are your guys' initial thoughts on this fight with it getting announced, and how do you think it plays out?
My initial thoughts are, I swear to fucking God, Jiri better win, because if he retires because he thinks he's not good enough to be here, I'll be so sad. So,
Yeah.
those are my initial feelings.
Yeah, that's very true.
And it's hard to get past that.
My initial feelings are, how does Jamahal deal with the awkward style of Jiri Prochazka? Like that clash of styles is gonna be very fucking interesting.
Yeah. Jiri just the fucking T-Ferg of 205, and Jamahal just a solid technical boxer, you know what I mean? I know for me, it's like, because Jamahal, he blew his fucking Achilles, and then comes into the fight with Poatan, gets knocked out very quickly, and then was going to have the fight with Khalil Roundtree, International Fight Week, gets a knee injury, pulls out of the fight. Like, obviously, the Achilles a very big injury. With the knee one, don't know exactly what it is, but most of the time you're getting a knee injury, it's probably going to be pretty substantial. Just with now these injuries seemingly starting to add up on him in his career, it's like, with him being such a good striker and boxer, if his like movement and just like footwork ability is just starting to get limited because of injuries, it's like, dude's gonna be cooked at the top of the division. He's like, I feel like he got the opportunity, you know, where like a lot of people didn't think he deserved against Glover. You know what? Like, just the whole situation gets himself inserted into the top of the mix. I feel like a lot of people feel like he didn't really deserve to be there, and if like these injuries are gonna be a problem potentially, he's gonna drop out immediately.
Yes.
Yeah. It kind of also depends, like, is it the Achilles is it the knee on the opposite leg? Is it the same leg? If it's the opposite leg, then that starts to make it a little different. But if it's the same leg, that really is going to stifle that leg. And I mean, look what happened to Thiago Santos after, his John Jones fight. Blew out both fucking knees and has never looked the same.
Yeah. So that's definitely my biggest concern for Jamahal Hill for sure. But to your point, Kate, it's like, bro, if Jiri lost this and it was just like, I'm done, that would be such a loss to this division.
Yeah, it would be super devastating.
What, fucking 6 fights in the UFC and gone or something like that? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this would be a 7th because he's 4-2.
Okay, yeah.
But it's like, his 2 losses coming from Poatan. Like, I feel like it's such a bad mindset to have. Like, I don't know how badly it's going to play against him. You know what I mean? Because obviously he took the loss to Poatan rough the first time and was like, no, like, I got to come back stronger. Like, I'll beat him the next time. But then taking that second loss and just, talking about, like, if it happens again, I shouldn't be here because if I'm not the best, why am I doing this? It's just such a dangerous mindset to have because it's a real slippery slope of it's motivating you or now it's your detrimental.
Yeah.
So I'm just really hoping that he can at least keep it tuned into keeping it for motivation,
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But great fight, though. A great addition to that card.
Yeah, either way, Jiri knocks out Jamahal.
Hopefully.
Let's go. We got some Bonfim news. Double Bonfim news.
Both in some really good fights.
Oh,
yeah. Fights.
170 pounds, Gabriel Bonfim taking on Rinat Fakhretdinov.
Yes.
Bro, all I know is someone's probably getting ran over. That is definitely my initial thoughts on this one. I wouldn't be surprised if we're not just being the bit better overall fighter, like, just able to possibly go out there, just put big shots on him, like just keep the pressure on him, grapple him, like, get it done, whatever. But we're not. He loves to just do dumb ass
shit.
Fucking things.
Yeah.
And
I could easily see him going out there and within the first 2 minutes of the fight shooting a takedown and getting his neck took for it because Bonfim has really good submissions, but specifically chokes.
Yeah.
Guillotine choke, mounted guillotine choke, Von Flue choke, Darce choke, rear naked, arm triangle choke,
yeah.
It's an endless list of him choking people out. Like, that's what this is.
Yeah, I It's a great fight though. I'm so excited, and I cannot wait to see how that one plays out for sure.
Yeah.
No, yeah, 100%.
But is that more exciting, or
No, the next one is for sure.
No, this one is
Bonfim taking on fucking Sadikov, man.
The reason why I think that this one is more interesting, as much as I love Renat and fucking Gabriel Bonfim,
Yeah.
it's because of the style clash with them that I feel like it's, gonna be one-sided one way or the other. But Ismail Bonfim at 155 taking on Nazim Sadikov.
Yup.
He'll grapple, he'll stand and strike. Like, he is down to go wherever the fight takes him and have a fucking banger of a fight throughout it.
Yeah.
You know? And Nazim Sadikov, shit, we saw it in his last fight. He went to the draw with Slavaklaus, but that got fight of the night for a reason. Like, it was just incredible. And then, before that, finishing Terrence McKinney, which obviously is kill or be killed, but he was on the kill side of that, finishing Elvin Elder, finishing some guy on Contender Series, and then just, a bunch of finishes in the regionals. But definitely been a good fighter too. Like, I think this is going to be a whole lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible. Both great fights, but yeah, that one is going to be a banger through and through. No doubt about it.
Yes. Because I think it's just going to be way more competitive. It's not, I don't think it's going to be a one-sided, like this person's getting it done this way or this person's going to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is going to be just real fun.
Definitely agree with that. Let's go. Moving on to another very good fight at 155 pounds. Grant Dawson, he is back taking on Carlos Diego Fajeda. Carlos got it done over Mateusz Rebecki in his last fight. And now he's back taking on another up-and-coming guy in Grant. Obviously, he was on his good streak, got shut down by Bobby, bounced back against Rafa. But yeah.
And Joe Solecki.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that one. But yeah, so 2-fight win streak, now gets a fight against Carlos Diego Fajeda, just an extremely tough vet. Do you think Grant Dawson gets it done, or do you think this is going to be another fight of Carlos Diego Fajeda getting it done as the older guy?
Grant Dawson's 2 losses come by sub-minute knockouts. So if Diego Fajeda doesn't run out there bombing on him, I think that Grant Dawson could probably take control.
Yeah. To be fair, it could just be like, Grant Dawson coming in 45 seconds into the fight for a takedown, just all of a sudden, uppercut, down cold.
I mean, because I feel like, for me, I think Grant's going to be probably in control of this fight for the most part, but he's going to for sure be going to the grappling.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where I'm curious if Carlos can maybe get something set up underneath, or, you know what I mean? I feel like he has the potential to possibly catch him in something.
That's true.
But, I overall, more than likely, Grant's like 29-28.
Grant pounds him out of there.
More likely.
That's possible too. But yeah. Let's go. Should be a good one. This next fight, 115 pounds, definitely going to be a good fight. Victoria Dudakova taking on Fatima Klein. Fatima caught her on the regional scene. It was LFA, I believe, right? Or Cage
no, it was
Fury.
CFFC.
Yeah, CFFC. Double champ, looking really good. Gets the short notice call into the UFC. Loses up a weight class.
To Jasmine Jasudavicius, which there's no shame in that. Ranked opponent, up a weight class, she's real scrappy, like duh.
Yeah.
And it was short notice too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, short notice. That was the Denver card, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But she's back, natural weight class, 115 pounds, taking on another up-and-comer in Victoria Dudakova.
Victoria Dudakova also coming off of her first loss, split decision loss to Sam Hughes.
Yeah. So I feel like this is just definitely going to be a good, fun fight. I'm definitely hoping Fatima can get it done, and just want to see her do good and move up the rankings, honestly.
I do think she can, if I'm going to be honest, because it's like, in what I've seen from Fatima, I know it was CFFC, but, it's not like Victoria's done great things in the UFC to really compare her to someone outside of the regionals. Yeah. But, I've just seen more impressive things from her. I think that she is better striking, and I think that her grappling is probably going to be a problem for her, because it's like, Victoria came in, she got the win over Estela Nunes, but that was 34 seconds into the first round with the dislocated elbow.
Yep.
That's a non-fight. That, you know what I mean? Then she missed weight, but she beat Jin Yu Frey, which Jinyu Frey just not on a good streak, whatever, and then loses to Sam Hughes, who's solid, but she's also 8-6 because she's just that person of like, you know, if she beats you, maybe you're really not where you should be.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, like I don't know, I really do think that Fatima is a solid fighter. I think she should be able to get this done.
Oh yeah. Let's go. Definitely hoping for a Fatima Klein win in that one. This next fucking fight, though, oh my god, as soon as I seen this, it was just, oh no.
But I love it.
No, yes, this is
so good, but not for the right reasons.
Man. Motherfucking Juju Miller, she is back, and she's taking on Carly Judice. Both of them, extremely inexperienced.
Yeah, Juju 3-3, fucking Carly 3-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neither of them should be in the UFC right now.
Nope.
No.
But they're both so tough and scrappy, and they are going to put on such a fun fight. Yeah. I don't know what card this is on, and it's probably...
It's on the February 15th card.
Okay.
So Apex.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if this got fight of the night. You know what I mean? Like, this is going to be such a fun
The only thing
scrap.
is that it is on the same card as the bomb theme, so, you know, there are some fights. It's going to be an overall probably a real fun Apex card, but there are definitely fights for that to take over, but I feel you. Like, there's potential. This is going to be scrappy as hell and real fun.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it depends on what the rest of that card... Oh, wow, I just realized that's the day after Valentine's Day.
Yep.
I don't know why that just hit me. It's like, wait, what the fuck?
But yeah,
no.
Great fight.
Great fight, and yeah, 3-3 and 3-2 in the UFC. Not in the UFC. That is the record you have
in the UFC and
professionally while in the UFC.
Yes.
Not usually a good thing.
No, not at all. But yeah, we'll see how that plays out. The loser gets cut for sure. No doubt in my mind. But yeah, let's go. Moving on. Very, very meaningful fight. Top 15 rankings.
This is so dumb.
This fight is so bad, man. Shamil Gaziev taking on Thomas Jefferson.
His real name is Thomas Peterson. We just call him that because
Thomas
it's
Edison.
I'm like, Jimmy, don't go fucking up the name. It's not no Thomas Jefferson.
That's what they... Come on, you know, that's always going to be his name forever.
It's going to be heavyweight slop, whatever.
Yeah. Terrible. Absolutely horrible. The back end of heavyweight for the past few years has been bad. But then they got rid of Stipe and Romanov and Nascimento, and now it's just like oofy magoofy. This is where we're at.
Oh shit, it got worse. Wait, come back.
Whereas like Shamil got undeservedly ranked and then a main event against Jar Jar and then got shut down and then bounced out the rankings, and now it's just gotten thinned out to the point where he's back in the rankings. Like, okay. I see where we're at now.
And, you know, Thomas getting a shot at rankings on a one-fight win streak over Muhammad Usman after losing to Jamal Pogues.
Makes sense. Big name win again done over Usman, yeah.
Anyway, the next fight's really good.
Yeah, fucking great rematch. First fight happened, LFA main event. Second fight, I don't think it's a main event.
I don't think it's confirmed as anything. I don't know if they have a main event for this card yet.
Yeah, I really want this to be 5 rounds, though. It really should be 5 rounds. But Brendan Allen taking on Fluffy. Fluffy's getting it done, no problem, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do agree with that. He had a real close fight. Brendan Allen had the real close fight with Chris Curtis, just back and forth, just hurting each other. You know, wasn't a fight where he looked good in. He had a fun fight, but it wasn't anything to be like, yeah, he's real skillful and you know. And then he lost the decision to Nasruddin Imavov. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez just on really good run at this point. He's been looking very good in all of his performances. He's got this.
Yeah.
I think he's finishing Brendan.
I don't know. I'm not sure if he'll... I mean, I think a late finish is possible, honestly. Because especially Brendan just does be getting exhausted like as the fight, because I feel like this is just gonna be a grueling war. I feel it's gonna be back and forth, good fun.
Yeah.
But Fluffy's gonna be in control and just like clearly winning the round.
Every time Brendan Allen has been finished, it's in the second round.
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah.
That is
fourth round sub for Fluffy.
because it's double 2.
No. I just don't know if like Fluffy will get him out of there early like that. I mean, it's definitely possible. Like I do think that Fluffy's gonna just be better overall.
Brendan
I think
just
it is possible,
shoots in on a lazy double, gets stars, guillotine, something like that, gets reversed into a rear naked.
I was gonna say because Allen's either gonna be shooting on him, which will give Fluffy an opportunity for something, but he's even just gonna be there to scrap with him, and with that, I think he's gonna be the one to go down from something over Fluffy, and I could just see it happening.
That's fair.
Just trying to brawl it out and not really giving him the respect he deserves, and boom, now he's done. Like
that's definitely fair.
But he has
smart
fought
game
him, so I'm
plan
sure he
is
does have respect for him. But whatever.
that yes and no. It's been so long since they fought in LFA. And,
Yeah.
Either way, it's a great fight, and I can't wait to see how that plays out. Last fight, a fight news that we got to talk about. Definitely extreme. I was just so surprised to see that this was what was going on.
Yeah.
Jasmine Jasdovicius, she is back, taking on Mayra Bueno Silva, making her return to the flyweight division. How do you guys feel? What do you think Mayra could potentially get done back at 125?
I don't really think much. I don't know. I think she just doesn't really know what to do. You know what I mean? And she's just trying to find a path. She originally came into the UFC at 125. I mean, she fought Contender Series 135, but her first couple fights were at 125. She was just real back and forth, winning, losing, draw, whatever. Moves up to 135. She went on the 3-fight winning streak against nobody too impressive. And then other than her win over Holly Holm, of course. But then, that gets overturned to the no contest. She still gets the Rocky fight for the title, but she loses that in pretty bad fashion. Then, loses to Macy. I feel like she just thinks that maybe she can do it again and just, have new matchups, whatever. I don't know. I don't really see much mindset for her.
Honestly, I kind of feel the same way. Like, I'm wondering if, almost this is, in her own head, a pattern where it's all right, 2 losses, move back down. 2 losses, move up. You know what I mean? Because it is weird that it's happened now, where she's lost twice, moved up. Lost twice, moving back down.
Yeah, I definitely just one of those things where, fighters just trying to find, the best path and everything like that. And, it could just be one of those things where, because when was the last time that she fought at 125?
The last time was 2021 against Manon Fiorot.
I didn't realize that was actually that recently, honestly.
Yeah, because it was only the few fights that she's had, but I don't know. I guess for one thing, it's Jasmine's real scrappy, Mayra's gas tank is not good. And is that because she carries extra weight at 135 and she's actually going to look better at 125 and maybe that's her game plan? Or is it not going to make a difference and the weight cut is actually going to affect her because she's been used to fighting at 135 at this point? I don't really know what it's going to do for her,
Yeah, because I was surprised with it just being as recent as 21, but I was just kind of thinking where could have just been could have felt maybe I'm too big for the division, whatever, so let me move up. Just, starts having success and now, gets to the top of the division, loses twice, maybe feels I don't have, the size cardio, to, do my game, at the top of the division. So now maybe being a bit more established, maybe having a little bit more money, you know what I mean? Could, just get better nutrition, camp, just, all of that, and could, feel better at 125.
Because I will say that, I do like the fight in the sense that, with her being at, number 6 at 135 and just going into the back half of 125 because it's we just got to see how she performs, and I do think that Jasmine is the perfect fight. I think it's going to be really fun and it's going to show if she can actually hang there or not.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's go. That is all of the news to talk about, all of the things to talk about on this episode of the podcast. I hope everyone enjoyed this one. If you did, don't forget to press those buttons, like and subscribe. We appreciate everyone that does, and we will catch you on the preview to some PFL Championship. Let's go. Peace out, everyone.
Another early morning fucking card.
Yeah.